stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. People are showing up. Cuckoo. Just doing a little bit of sharing. We'll get started. All right. Hi, Patricia. Good evening. It is good to see you. Should I play the full-length video of do you guys want to hear the full-length song? It doesn't, the recording's not the best, but let's go ahead and do it. Why not? It's about 2 minutes long. Enjoy. I'm kidding. They're nice.
Okay. Well, this is the song. Where do I look?
You don't need to really look anywhere. If you want to, you can look in the camera.
Okay.
And it'll look kind of weird, but you can do that if you want to.
Okay. This is from the intro portion of the song "Trudging Together" that I wrote. I made it into a full song. And here it is.
Time he bends, hanging from a thread, from his scars that never bled, thinking will forever ever end. We're buried in sorrow, our guilty souls aching, hoping that time will take us back to yesterday. The woods can be dance for our acts. The sea can be deep for our diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way. Their fights were getting worse, and she couldn't see her worth. And leaving him was harder than she thought. Well, one drink turned to two, and soon enough she knew that every time she'd start, she couldn't stop. We're broken and hollow from all of our mistakes, and today we will begin again, forgive and reawake. The woods can be dance for our acts. The sea can be deep for our diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yay, good job, Naya. I might get her into a recording studio soon. But I'm very proud of that song. And my niece wrote it. She wrote the words, she wrote the music, she played it, and she sings it. She does the whole kit and caboodle. So thank you, Patricia. So, man, I'm going to be working on trying to get more people to these things. Um, I think I might be missing something or so. I do not know. But today, um, I read this line in the 12 by 12 years ago, and it hit home with me, not around the four step, but around some other things. So I wanted to give a try at talking about, see how I do with it. But this is actually out of the 12 by 12. It is in the four step. And I'm going to go back just a little bit before it. It says, nor the quest for security always expressed in terms of money. How frequently we see a frightened human being determined to depend completely upon a stronger person for guidance and protection. This weak one failing to meet life's responsibilities with his own resources never grows up. Disillusionment and helplessness are his lot. In time, all of his protectors either flee or die, and once he is more left alone and afraid. Those are the people that fear abandonment. Um, I, I don't think there's one of us that doesn't have that fear, because we are a set of people that, and we're coming up on it, that have been abandoned. Society in and of itself has given up on us for the most part. I mean, we're making a comeback. I'm not saying we don't do some good, but for the most part, no, the general public doesn't give a fuck about us and what we're doing. Okay. That usually comes down to the fact that if it's not affecting you, it doesn't seem to hurt. Okay. Now, the thing is they're saying they're not affected by drugs and alcohol, but that just isn't true. With the opiate crisis, everybody is affected by drugs and alcohol. Everybody in the world knows somebody that has passed from opiates. Okay? None of us are free from that. So why this insistence on using people as a way to wage war on drugs and such other things? And I'm going to say no. I'm going to say kiss my ass. Okay? I don't believe that the government should be involved in anything that we do. Right? Our governor, I last week he decided to have a talk. Yay, we talked. But the fact of the matter is this: 2 years ago, he gave away $5 million, $1 million to each person who is getting a corona shot, and these lucky winners got $1 million. He pulled that money from our fucking funding. So there is not one thing in this world that makes me think that he is actually going to do something for us. They don't care. Take a look at President Biden. He doesn't give a fuck about his son either. And I can tell you right now, Hunter ain't in recovery. He ain't even sober, and I can tell you why. Because people whose parents, when you have a loved one and somebody comes along and saves your child, do you know what you are? Eternally grateful. Are you not? So why am I not seeing this eternal gratefulness from our own president? Okay. Now, I wouldn't matter who is in the office. I tell you that right now. I don't want any of them touching our shit, because all they do is wage war, and they use us to do it. And what becomes worse is when we start doing it ourselves. We have also seen men and women who go power mad. They get into this program, they get a little bit underneath them, and suddenly they're a preacher, they're a recovery coach, they're all of a sudden all these other things. When 3 months ago, you could barely even admit that you were an alcoholic. Right? What is that? That is ego being driven by somebody else who has you fooled. They have the eyes pulled over they have the wool pulled over your eyes. I'm sorry, but not Patricia. It's for people that don't usually listen to me very often, right? Okay. But no person should ever be an argument for a solution. Ever. Okay. It's not what we're here for. We have also seen men and women who go power mad, who devote themselves to attempting to rule their fellows, but they seem to do it in this loving way. We call these people narcissists. Okay. And when you have a narcissist in AA, these are the people that usually start their own church. And no, I am not talking about anybody in particular, right? Like I am not talking about Free at all. Free does something entirely different. Okay. He went through the program, then he saw something. Right? It's when we've been this new way. You don't need AA. Just take my 30-minute class and you'll have all the answers that you need. But unfortunately, self-help wasn't the answer. These people often throw to the winds every chance for legitimate security and a happy life. Okay. So, you guys know that I'm also in the recovery coach field. I'm not a recovery coach. Yay, I'm not a recovery coach. Yes, I celebrate that. Why? Because recovery coaching has become almost redundant at this point. They've done such a horrible job, they have created nothing. Even the people I support, sometimes I wonder, what's your true intention here? It's great. It's great that you went through here and you shook my hand and your little thing with the government. Fuck that. No, I don't want the government involved with what we do because they don't know, they don't understand, and we don't need them. We've never needed them, and we don't need them now. We don't need them for treatment. We don't need them for detox. We don't need them. We can be self-supporting with our own stuff. We can. Hey, of course, not going to be a very nice treatment center. It's going to be a treatment center in a cardboard box. But whenever a human being becomes a battleground for instincts, there can be no peace. So I was working for this company, and I didn't have very many clients. It was their job to get me clients, and they weren't getting me clients. So I was kind of doing a to do with them, like, hey, I need clients. And one of the owners was going to go down and meet with me at a sober living home, and we were going to talk to them, work on getting. And this was a couple years back. And then all of a sudden they couldn't make it, and they were freaking out and getting a hold of me. And I told them, hey, I can handle it. I don't need you. He tells me, fuck no, those are my fucking clients. Right there. Well, somebody wanted to talk for a second. Okay. I have literally seen people argue and bicker over who gets to run Salvation Army. I saw people bicker over counties. I still watch them do that. Every time I turn around, there is somebody out there that is trying to reinvent the wheel, and we don't need to reinvent the wheel. What we have is a bunch of people on our hands that have power that don't know how to fucking handle it. And when I see other people saying, I want to be just like that person, and it's a bunch of little impressionable girls, I get a little upset. It gets old. The cat's running around destroying everything. But we can never, ever, ever use a person as an example for a battleground, or we will find no peace. We will have none. Just like half measures. Half measures avail you what? Not a fucking thing. No tang. No tang at all. There's so much more to this. Okay, I'm going to use recovery coach training I'm going to use CCAR in particular. I'm going to use the RCO C car in Colorado. Okay. I was doing a little bit of work trying to get some people to do some training. I thought there was some good money in it, da 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 da. And I was talking to them because the way I saw it is we really shouldn't train people unless they are ready. And I can tell you right now, most of the time, you're not ready yet. If you want to get into this field, they actually want you to have 2 years under your belt. And I do not blame them. Why? Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. I'll say it again. You don't know what you're doing. You're killing people. So when I was talking to the trainers about that, what the response was as long as their money is green. That was their answer. In other words, they said, Dion, there's just not enough people in recovery for me to be able to make a decent income doing this. Couldn't even be honest about it. Couldn't be honest about it, but that's what the answer was. Okay? And I agree, there's not enough money for us in it. But that doesn't mean you get to play with people's lives. That's not what that means. Okay? So if you have decided to become a advocate, a recovery coach, a peer support specialist, please, for the love of God, number one, get 2 years of sobriety under your belt and finish the fucking steps. And then go educate yourself. You can go to your city or county and they will actually train you through Odyssey on how to become a peer support specialist. And they will pay for it and then probably give you a job afterwards. Okay, because it's the way that it needs to be done. That is the right way to do it. That is the correct way to do it. Okay, the wrong way to do it is to go to CCAR, get your 30 hours, and now you're qualified to do what? To do what? You are qualified to hand out resources. That is it. That's all a recovery coach is. A recovery coach is only as good as their resources because we don't do anything else. So why are we getting into this? Oh, if we're recovery coaches, that we're going, oh, we have to be in the sober livings. We have to, no, peer support specialists need to be there, not recovery coaches. Recovery coaches is the easier, softer way. So, for the love of God, go educate yourself before you go out there, start to stick your fingers in everybody's fucking business. Please, I'm begging you. And you will actually do a lot better in this field. You will get more success from it. Okay? If I hear any more arguing in Aurora over who gets what, none of you ain't getting shit. I'll just go start another program, right? Nobody's fucking around in Aurora. In fact, I want to give a couple of shout outs. Aurora's Sober Living. I'll give a shout out. Okay? They're kicking ass. They're not bragging about it, so I'm bragging about for them. Okay? And no, not just because of their softball team. I'm talking about bringing on more houses, having a success rate. People that are staying sober and becoming productive members of society again. That's what I like to see. All right. So I'm going to support those people more because they're doing it how I feel is the correct way. Okay. How do I know? Because millions of alcoholics are not wrong, and neither is God. So I thought I was going to go off and stuff on this, but I just wasn't feeling that. Which is good, isn't it? I'm going to be working on trying to bring a little bit more enthusiasm to the Daily Trudge. I really feel like my enthusiasm has kind of gone down. Sometimes I get tired of talking about this stuff. Or say, God, do I have to talk about recovery again? Right? So make sure you're taking care of yourselves. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Patricia, it was good to see you and hang out with you this evening. I appreciate it. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Please stay safe out there. I love you. Peace out.